So my very first market of the season is coming up this Saturday. At the time of filming, it's the beginning of June. So June 7th is my first market. I'm really excited about it. And I haven't really gone through all my inventory yet. My last market that I did was, I don't even think I did any Christmas markets last year. So I think the last time I looked at my inventory was around October. And then I've been kind of crocheting all through the winter and into the spring, kind of selling off here and there and all that kind of stuff, but I haven't really had a good look at everything that I have, and I'm feeling a little bit unprepared. So I thought maybe you guys would want to take along as we look through everything that we have. I'll show you kind of what I like to bring to my markets. I'm gonna go over the pricing, especially for like the beaded fidgets and stuff. I get that question a lot on how much do you charge for your beaded fidgets. So I'm gonna show you all the different animals that I'm gonna, I guess, whatever I have in my inventory, what I'm gonna bring. And the pricing, and we'll go through some of like the big plushies as well, and some bubs, and basically all the good stuff. I don't know, it's gonna be a surprise for me too. What's in the bin? Who knows? It could be something embarrassing. So we'll find out. Also, kind of noticing this mess in the corner. Yeah. That's what my yarn wall looks like. I don't have a beautiful yarn wall like a lot of you guys do. We're just gonna kind of like see all that mess over there. I'm just in the middle of transitioning. We have kind of like a shed, I guess, that we're converting into a studio, kind of like an external standalone shed next to our house. So the plan is to move kind of all of the plush yarn and all of that good stuff out there, because I find that I'm using more and more acrylic and stuff lately, especially with all the beaded fidgets. But yeah, I'm gonna turn it into a craft studio, and then I'm gonna move all of like the larger equipment, kind of like the Cricut machine and the sewing machine, all the stuff that I don't use on a day-to-day basis but take up so much space in the house. I'm gonna move it all out there. So until I make that transition and get a chance to organize this wall, that's what it looks like. So don't judge me. Okay, and then, oh, one of them's upside down, and then these two guys. I actually just made this a couple days ago. I don't know if you guys have seen my previous video, but I posted a free tutorial for Toothless, like the Night Fury dragon. And when I was making the pattern, I ended up trial running it in white, and then also for the video, I did it in yellow. So got a couple of extra dragons. We'll throw that in the pile. I'm a little winded. That was a little more stuff than I was anticipating. Even as I was bringing up the totes, I think I was a little bit in denial. This is like kind of a mess. I'm excited to go through it and see, especially as I was dumping stuff out, I was going, I remember making that, like, oh, I forgot I still had that, all the kind of stuff. So it's kind of exciting. Yeah, let's sort through it and then we'll see what we have. Okay, so when I post that part, I'm probably going to speed it up, and I'm hoping that it looks like the 10-second tidy or something. We'll see what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera over so you can kind of see from my point of view what it looked like. Really cool to see it all together. Okay. So there we have all of our like plush and bags. I still don't have the beaded fidgets on there though. I took all of those off the bed because there was too many, so we'll go through those afterwards. How is that for awkward? Right? So now we're gonna start tallying up. I am going to just bring some tubs over. Okay, basically I'm just gonna be refilling these tubs between kind of like what I'm gonna be taking to the market with me and what I'm gonna be holding off. I noticed I had some seasonal items back there, stuff for Christmas and stuff, so obviously I'm not gonna be lugging that back and forth to Christmas all the way until Christmas. Although I do have a market coming up that's a Christmas in July, so I'm probably not gonna tuck it away too far into storage, but basically I'm not bringing it with me on Saturday. So first I have a bunch of these like little freebie octopus. I don't even know where I got the pattern from. It's one of those ones you find along Pinterest along the way somewhere. Anyways, I charge $8 a piece. So I've got a couple of those, looks like 3. So let's look at some bubs here. So when I bring bubs, when I'm talking about bubs, I'm talking about like, these are the patterns that I sell on my Etsy. So basically like same basic shape. They're kind of like snuggler style, but they all have different, obviously, characteristics to make them different animals and stuff. I don't generally make in bulk, so I kind of just like one and done everything. Like I want to make a pink frog, I make one pink frog, and then I never make a pink frog ever again. So that's usually how my booth is set up. Everything is just like a one of kind of deal. Like you like it, you grab it, because that's all there is gonna be. I don't know if it's a good strategy or not. I'm kind of curious to know if you get more sales when you're really showcasing one style of plush, but to be honest, I just don't have the patience to making the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm probably not going to change how I do things. That's okay. You guys can let me know in the comments what you guys like to do. Do you have the patience to make the same thing over and over and over again? Because I have seen videos of people where they set up their market display and they've got bins of the same animal and they've got like 100 of them sitting in there. And like, I think that's incredible because I wouldn't have the patience to do that. So if you guys do that, like my hat's off to you. That's amazing. So let's take a look at, move over some bins here. Okay, so plushies. I'm just gonna do kind of like a little quick show and tell because they're all gonna go right into the bin. So dragonfly. That is all the bubs. So I'm gonna do like a quick little tally and see how many. I was like low-key keeping track. Okay. Oh, and I guess I should also say for the bubs, I'll just pull this little guy up here. I charge $20 per bub, and nobody, to be honest, I feel like I could probably charge a little bit more for it because of the detailing involved and stuff, but nobody ever really seems to blink at that price, and they sell really well, and I don't feel like I'm gypping anybody because, to be honest, you whip these up in maybe just like a little bit over an hour, so even though it's detailed looking, they're pretty quick. So I don't know, I charge $20 for mine and I don't feel bad about it. I found that as soon as I started adding a showstopper piece to my table and stuff, it really got the conversations going. More people paused to look at my table, and normally it's just like a compliment kind of thing, like, oh my gosh, wow, you made that to yourself, and then you sit there and go, yes, I did make that myself, thank you so much for, you know, appreciating it. And then they'll just kind of browse along a little bit more, maybe be a little more like appreciative, and hopefully make a sale. So either way, it's a good conversation piece. So I use this giant axolotl. This pattern's in my Etsy too. I've sold one at a market before. I've only taken her to like a full season of markets. So at one market, they're not for everybody. Obviously, they're really, really big and they're not cheap. So I charge $110 for this guy, but that's okay because I would rather not have to make 100 of these if they were selling consistently, because it is a lot of work. Okay, and now we're gonna come up to the fidgets. So these are kind of like the bread and butter at my markets. I think maybe just because they're a little bit different. It's the first time people in the area have seen these. So I do all mine in the display boxes. So that's the same octopus that I showed you earlier, but this one has the beads, right? So all of my fidgets come in the boxes. What else do I have in here? It's like, I'm gonna say whatever is like super cute, but I mean they're all really cute. This one's like a little birthday cake turtle. Oh. So all of my animals, I'm just kind of checking here. All of my animals are $15. This one's like a little snake. Isn't that adorable? And then all of the ones that are not animals are between like $10 and $12 kind of thing. So this box got smushed. I'll show you. Oh, I think maybe he was sitting at a shop, so I think maybe someone didn't figure out how to put him back in the box, but this is like what the dragon looks like. The dragon's always one of the top sellers. There we go. Just something about dragons. Everybody always loves dragons. I'll show you what it actually looks like though in the box. Even though it's crinkled, I'll probably change the box out. But he's like coming through the castle. Isn't that so cute? Love it. So yeah, all my animals are $15, and then all these like little guys that are not animals. This one's like a little flower. This one's $10. When I sell these ones, I kind of market them also as like a fidget spinner. They obviously don't spin on their own, but like obviously they kind of work like a fidget spinner. So that's why I market them, and everybody thinks that's super cool. I've also sold them as like keychains, like attach the loop to them and stuff, and people have been using them as bag charms. So whatever works, whatever people want them to be, it works just fine. Okay, I've got a couple seahorse. The seahorses always do really well. That's a really challenging color to show up on the camera, but I've got this one too. It's got kind of some funky colors. So I've got two seahorse. I've got a frog, two frogs, three frogs, four frogs actually. This is what the frogs look like. They're always a hit. So I've got four of those. The fish, this will be the first time I'm bringing the fish to the market, but I think that they're gonna do well. I've seen some people use them as like the no fuss pet, the ones where you put them inside the aquarium kind of thing. And I think it's a fabulous idea. I haven't been able to source those little like plasticky aquariums I have a feeling that they are at like a dollar store in the US somewhere, and I'm from Canada, so I haven't been able to find them, but if anybody is from Canada in the comments and knows where to find them, I would love to know. And I've got a couple little dolls, so I've got a Steamboat Mickey doll and a mermaid, again with the beads, love. And for the dolls, because I said that all the animals are $15, so for the mermaids, I'm going to be charging $35 actually for these guys, because they are just as much work as doing like kind of like the giant snuggler, like the amount of stitching is the same. So $35 for these guys. I got a bunch of these squares. Some of them are packaged already and some of them are not. So these are all fidget squares. I'll show you. I'm gonna find one that I really like. Okay, I like this one. So that's what it looks like there. Fidget square. And then I put on like the little clasp kind of thing. They feel really, really nice between your hands. These are super popular when somebody's coming by and shopping for, some of them are for students, so, or it doesn't even have to be children, but I've noticed that people are shopping them for, like for children that maybe like pull on their hair or pick their nails, the kind of thing. I've had a lot of feedback that they find these super, super useful and that it's really helping to curb those habits and stuff. So I've had some returning customers come back and actually buy a couple of them. Also, I found people are shopping for senior citizens in like retirement homes and stuff like that, just to keep their hands busy so they're not seizing up and stuff. So just something to kind of play with between their hands. So obviously it's like a very specific demographic that these are selling to, but I have a lot of those shoppers coming to my markets, so super helpful. So I got quite a few of these, basically just for people to pick through for what colors that they like. I find that the ones that sell the best are like neutral tones kind of thing, for more for adults and stuff, or just like the ones that are just the same like one color bead all the way through. So even though it's kind of like a vibrant color that it is, it doesn't have any like crazy bead designs. I do have some crazy bead designs on here, but they just, I mean, it's just stripes, it's not crazy. They just don't sell as well, that's all. Okay. Oh my goodness. We made it. I'm like kind of in shock that we made it. So I think I am going to go off camera for a second and do a quick tally. And then I'm going to come back and we can kind of chat a little bit more about what the plan is for the market. So I went ahead and did the tally for everything and for all of the inventory that's going to be coming. So that's not all the plushies that are here because I did set some aside. It's going to total up at $3,100 roughly, $3,111 to be exact. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good start. To be honest, I think I have too much inventory anyways. That's gonna, like, not everything's gonna be out all at once. I do kind of like an L-shape orientation and there's no way I'm gonna be able to fit all those bubs nicely on the table and stuff. So not everything's gonna be on display, but that's okay. Can you guys hear that? I'm getting a thunderstorm right now. So if I lose power, it's because of that. So I lost my train of thought a little bit. That was a really big boom. I'm actually kind of hoping that it shows up on camera because I don't know, it like really surprised me. For best sellers at the market, I kind of touched on it. Oh, there, that was my power flickering. Oh no, I better finish this up quickly. So obviously my fidgets are the ones that sell the best for me. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know that there really is like a particular fidget animal that sells the best. It all, you know, everybody's got their favorite kind of animals and stuff. The hedgehogs always draw people in. So this little guy, I realized I didn't actually have one to show you earlier when I was doing the inventory. I had all my hedgehogs upstairs. So this is what they look like. Like you can't like pass this little guy up. You see him at the market, like you have to take him home. Plus all these little beads, like they feel so nice in your hand. I've noticed, because I've been bringing these around to the market basically since last year, and word has kind of gotten around that that's where people are getting the fidgets from and stuff. They've been showing up at school with them, and then word's getting around. So I get a lot of referrals and stuff, people coming by and demanding these little hedgehogs. So I realized after, when I went through my inventory earlier, I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't even have any hedgehogs, and that's what people are going to be coming for. So I'm really glad that I had some upstairs. And actually, now that I am thinking about it, I do actually have one other thing that I throw up on the table. So give me 1 second. Okay, this is it here. So I do the beaded kits as well. So when did I come out with these? I think it was a couple months ago. I launched the kits on my website, but this market is going to be the first one where I actually bring it somewhere in person. So I'm really excited about that, because we do get a lot of people coming by that say, wow, like, I love your stuff, but I crochet, kind of thing, and then just, you know, carry on and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of hoping that this is going to appeal to those people a little bit, where they do crochet. I mean, like, those already have like a lot of their materials already, but it's basically like purchasing a pattern, and if they didn't already have the beads at home, then this will give them everything else they need, plus an extra hook. So I mean, that's exciting. Everything that you need to crochet one of these guys is my price tag. I charge $20 for these. It's in here, plus there's like a full video tutorial as well for people that like to crochet along with the tutorial. So kind of cool. So I'm excited to showcase these guys. And also, when I went to go grab this, remember how I said that there was that funny like newspaper article about me holding that giant axolotl? So I found it. So this is it here. The Black Flag is that, you can tell, like, very small town. And that's me holding my giant like axolotl. They call it the hot pink axolotl. Isn't that hilarious? Anyways, I'm keeping this forever. It got like a little bit ripped on the bottom, and I'm kind of sad about it, because you can like never find another one. I don't know. I think that's really funny. Anyways, thank you for following along, and I'll see you after the market. Bye, guys.